Hello there. So this is a quick PowerPoint presentation I made. You might notice a certain character here in this Super Smash Bros. Picture that is not in Super Smash Bros. Yes, I'm here to ponder what certain spirit battles could be in Super Smash Bros. If they ever added a Mortal Kombat character. And it's worth saying up front that if they're going to add a character, it would obviously be Scorpion, Sub-Zero or Raiden, most likely Scorpion, if only because he's the company mascot for NetherRealm. If I had the choice of character, that's a tough one, because on the one hand, I think Raiden might work a little better, but on the other hand, if you have one of the ninjas, you can technically have all of them. Honestly, Chameleon could really shine here, particularly if they had customization like they had in Smash 4, you know, with the movesets. Then you could basically turn him into my concept of Triborg, and then you basically have, save this customization of Chameleon, and it's Scorpion, save this one, it's Sub-Zero, but yeah, let's get on with it. I tried making it full screen, but for some reason, maybe it's because of OBS or something, I don't know, it decided that it's going to take up both screens, neither of which are going to get recorded. One's the full screen thing and one is some weird bullshit with all these other options, and I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to stick with it like this and move on. This is bullshit. So first is my main man, Scorpion. My original idea actually was that it would be young Link and he would just keep using the hook shot, but then I realised, well, you got this guy with a chain with the ball in the end and he actually has a yellow costume. And the funny thing about it is that this kind of weapon is exactly how Scorpion's spear was depicted in the Malibu comics. It was a spiky ball on the end of the chain, whereas the game stuck with a kunai on a rope up until it might have been DCU. It was either then or 2011 that they introduced the chain version, but they never had the spiky ball, which is odd. Why did they not have that? Well, I guess it wouldn't fit with a lot of the animation, but it would have been cool to have that as an option for the customization in 11, but anyway. So this is a pretty simple concept. It's just him going around in this NetherRealm-ish stage. One of the ideas I've got for an extra element of the challenge is that, you know, maybe the floor's on fire, or he starts off with the curry, which is constantly breathing fire at you. Either way, you got Shimon Belmondo working here as Hanzo Hasashi, so simple concept. And then we have the Ice Climbers as the two Sub-Zeros. I mean, so it's all ice themed. One of the other ideas I've got is that they start off with the ice weapon that you throw to freeze someone in a block of ice, which, funnily enough, is exactly how Scorpion's family looks when they are killed in the MKX comic. They're in a massive block of ice. It looks so fucking goofy. He's like, no, my family. And it's like, they look like they got attacked by the fucking Ice Climbers. And this is one of the reasons why I think Sub-Zero might be a better choice for an actual character than Scorpion, because there aren't that many characters in Smash with ice abilities. You know, as you go to Injustice, where they'd had Killer Frost and they had Captain Cold, they had characters with ice abilities. Here they've just got the Ice Climbers and one weapon. So ice is an element that's not really used that much in Smash, and I think Sub-Zero utilising that would be something a bit more unique than anything that Scorpion has to offer. So Sub-Zero would probably be a better choice, but in the event that he's not, this would be what his spirit battle would be. Raiden as Pikachu. Raiden as Pikachu is just using electric attacks, maybe an electrified floor. Just pick the most kind of godly location I could think of that didn't have giant Pokemon in the background to kind of distract from it. Also, this one has a tendency to use the torpedo launch move, because that's definitely a Raiden thing. Just unfortunately, Pikachu doesn't make the sound of someone getting his nuts smashed like Raiden did. And that's not even a joke, that's actually what that sound was based on. Look it up. So here we've got an arena, kind of like Shao Kahn's arena, but not exactly, because, you know, it's going to come up later. And we have Ryu and Ken for the Liu Kang. Now, you might look at that and go, well, clearly this is Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And yes it is. I don't remember if I actually made a Kung Lao one, because I actually made this presentation a while ago. Just didn't get around to recording until now. So maybe Kung Lao will show up as his own character, maybe he won't. I assume from the fact that Kung Lao isn't considered part of this, not the Shaolin monks, he's probably got his own one. But here's Ryu and Ken. Ryu would use a lot of Hadokens and running kicks to be, you know, Liu Kang's Dragon Fire and Flying Kick. I couldn't really think of a gimmick for Ken as Kung Lao. The best I could think of is that bumper item you throw, and when people run into it they get bounced back. That's really all I could think of. But that's kind of it. You got Liu Kang with his best friend backing him up. When I first conceived this idea, it was before Terry was announced, so Johnny would have been Ken, but then we have Terry, so yeah, then we got this particular stage with all the glitz and glamour. It's definitely fitting for Johnny Cage, I think. I don't really have much in the way of other gimmicks. I mean, maybe there'd be other Terrys that jump in and they're Johnny stunt doubles and you have to take them out as well. You know, he's backed up by a bunch of other Terrys who are very easy to take down, but he's the one you have to take down to win the fight. Jax and Sonya, you know, you could have either of them individual, but I didn't realise Samus's leg was over Little Max. Ignore that. So yeah, Sonya and Jax, it's the kind of thing where you could do them on their own, but they would probably have the other character backing them up anyway, so it just makes sense to put them together. Plus that allows you to have more spirits. Put them in Shadow Moses because it's kind of like a special forces base. I think the reason I chose this colour for Jax specifically is because it's kind of like the American flag. It's got those colours, and Jax sometimes comes out with a flag because he's very patriotic occasionally. I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that Jackie inherited that's actually any good when she pulls out that little flag for one of her brutality victory poses. She's like waving it, and it's really cute. But yeah, Jackie sucks, let's move on. Fairly self-explanatory, Blue Ninja Princess with her green and purple bodyguards in some ruins. I wonder what it could mean. What does this mean? Obviously, you have to beat Sheik to win. The other two are just there to make that more difficult. Nightwolf, he primarily uses his bow to attack. I could have gone with Pit, I guess, for that, but I don't know, it just made more sense to go with Link for me. And then you got his spirits from MK11, the wolf, the bird, and... You know, honestly, I suppose in theory, I didn't need to actually have Falco in there because you've got Kazooie who could fill that role. Meh. But yeah, they're all in their green costumes because that's the colour of souls in Mortal Kombat. I know the spirits and souls aren't technically the same thing, but you know, it gives them a unified look. I mean, it makes sense. He's on the Wii Fit stage because he's a mentor character and he's a big fat dude who farts and shit. You know, I forget if there are any effects involved like tilting the screen and stuff like that, or any kind of blurring effect. That's the kind of thing that Wario for Borai Cho would have because he's fat. And he farts and shit. Ermac is Ness. He has his psychic powers. And here's this cool environment with like green rocks and shit. That's kind of like the Soul Chamber. Yeah, some of these don't really have any specific gimmicks. It would basically just be a standard fight because I really don't know. I mean, I guess you'd give him low gravity or higher jumps or something to imitate Ermac floating around. But that's basically it. Now, originally, this was going to be Yoshi because of the tongue and because he's a reptilian. But then I realised, oh yeah, we have an actual ninja with a long tongue. And yes, I know that Greninja is not a reptile. I understand for what everyone says. I get that. But this just looks way more appropriate for a reptile than Yoshi. Then here's a bridge. A bridge overlooking a big chasm. Why could I have chosen that for reptile? But yeah, in case you're not realised, we're in the villains now. So here we've got the head of the Black Dragon with the King of Thieves, or whatever the hell Ganondorf's nickname is. And then he's got his main man, Cabal the Hedgehog, backing him up. And he's in a city, which honestly, for me, is one of the most aesthetically pleasing stages in Smash Ultimate. There's not really much else to say. I mean, maybe Ganondorf could run around with some kind of laser weapon, but that's basically it. Okay, so the idea with this one is you start off fighting Samus, you defeat her, and then Dark Samus enters, and that's the one you have to beat. Because there you basically killed Sub-Zero and he's become Noob Saibot. I mean, another way you could do it is just have two Dark Samuses and there's one specifically you have to beat. But that'd be lame. You want a bit more interesting variety. You don't want to just have more fight these two dudes. You want to have some cool things that are specific to that character. And this environment is just kind of a dark stage, so it made sense for Noob Saibot. I mean, Cetrion already looks like Palutena anyway. Palutena is kind of like what Cetrion would look like if you outsourced an MK game to some Japanese studio and they went super anime with it. And then here she is on the clock tower from Bayonetta because time. Because Cetrion has no other purpose other than doing her mother's bidding. Cetrion really was a fucking lame character, wasn't she? I mean, she got a really good design, but she's a complete waste. I mean, come on now. You got this guy who consumes people and takes their powers on an island. I mean, Kirby really is just Shang Tsung. Now, if Kirby was voiced by Kari Tagawa, he'd be the greatest character ever created. But alas, he is not. Although, if you had Kirby's voice actress playing Shang Tsung, that'd be quite something as well. But yeah, Kirby comes in. Let Mortal Kombat begin. You know what? Fuck it, right? The MK rep should be chosen based on what hat Kirby would get. Do you want Kirby to wear Scorpion's mask? Do you want him to wear Sub-Zero's mask? Or do you want him to wear Raiden's hat? Or Shao Kahn's helmet? Ooh. So someone needs to draw this. Someone needs to draw Kirby with all these different MK characters' headgears. Or Old Man Shang Tsung's beard. Oh, that'd be great. Kirby's just there with the fucking long beard from MK1. I don't think any character gives him sunglasses. Maybe they're saving that for Duke Nukem. Gintaro. Tiger Man in the Colosseum, which is basically Khan's arena. That's really it. I don't know what you would do with Goro. Probably just Charizard or something. I don't remember what all the Pokemon in Smash are. If they had Machamp, that'd be even easier. So then you could just keep throwing Machamps out as like every so often at a new Pokeball show with a Machamp, you just throw it out, and then this forearm dude just pops out and starts beating the shit out of people. You know, honestly, this one could be merged with the final one, to be honest, because you could have it that you have this arena, you beat this guy, and then in pops this dude. Yeah, Shao Kahn, King DDD, you know, the evil ruler with a hammer, and he's got this cool stage as like Khan's palace. But you could put him in this arena. That's probably the most likely, honestly. Yeah, just a sec. Yeah, probably something like this. You start off fighting Kintaro, the sub-boss, and then when you beat him, Shao Kahn comes in, and then you have to defeat him. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that before, especially since Kintaro is very unlikely to get his own spirit. I mean, I'm not expecting them to have 17 different spirits, so a lot of it would be condensing characters down to have less fights, or in some cases not explicitly referencing certain characters, like I had Kano before. Well, it's not presented as a Black Dragon one, it's just Kano. You know, you're just fighting Ganondorf, but Sonic's also there. Whereas with Sonya and Jax, they'd probably drop Nightwolf or something and have those two get individual fights. It just makes sense to me to put those two together. I mean, obviously you can't just have a Sonya battle then with little Mac there helping out, and that's the only representation Jax gets. No, Jax is such a long-running iconic character, he deserves more. So it'd be better to group those two together. And yeah, I guess I didn't make a Kung Lao one, so he should be put with Liu Kang, but... So yeah, that's my idea for MK Spirits in Super Smash Bros. I think it's quite good. You could certainly do a lot worse, like having Bayonetta for Kronika. Kronika Spirit. Only characters with value get to be spirits. Kronika doesn't even deserve to be a stage hazard. Oh, but before we close off, what stage would each character get? Because one of the things that I like about Smash is it's one of those fighting games that does give the guest characters their own stages, which is an area I've said in the past that NetherRealm really misses a trick on, that we never get some cool, like, Terminator Future stage or something like that. Actually, let's just say what each of these characters would get as their stage. If any of these characters were added to Smash, Scorpion obviously would get the NetherRealm. It would not be called Hell, it would be the NetherRealm. You'd have background cameos by Moloch and Dramin, probably Quan Chi as well. You'd probably be able to knock people into the pillars like you see in the background. There'd be some of those on either side of the stage, like the towers in Shadow Moses, and you'd knock people into those to smash through them and stuff like that. Or it could be that the platform is slightly elevated above the lava. You can't really do much in the way of lava gimmicks because, you know, you have Norfair. You can't really do much that's not already done there with the firewalls and the lava rising. Some Lin Kuei facility, you have Sub-Zero there in the background if he's not being used. Maybe Frost is there. I don't know. The Sky Temple, I guess. Lightning occasionally comes down and strikes. Maybe it's localized to wherever Raiden's Warhammer or Lightning Staff are, and lightning just comes down on that spot. Something like that. I mean, we're not going to get the Wuxi Academy. I think if Liu Kang was going to get a stage, it'd probably be Goro's lair. And what do you do there? Just Goro in the background occasionally smashing people? Smash. I mean, that's one option. Probably more likely to just have the pit. Johnny Cage never really had a stage that you could consider his. The closest thing is Special Forces bases. It'd be cool to have a movie set as a stage for an MK game. I mean, you might say it seems a bit out of place, but then you look at Tournament, and if that's not out of place, then a movie set definitely isn't. I mean, hell, the movie set could even have different backgrounds played at random. You know, this one is a western, this one is a fantasy film, stuff like that. But anyway, Johnny doesn't really have anything you could go with. Any Special Forces base, there's a bunch of them, doesn't really matter. Kitana would just have Khan's Arena. It's just the iconic location in Outworld. Nightwolf has also never really had a stage you could consider his. Boaicho, same. Ermac, the Soul Chamber. I don't know what kind of gimmicks you could give that. Maybe occasionally see the soul of some dead MK character popping in, like, hey, like, look guys, Melina made it into Smash in a more substantial manner than she did into MK11, and people get pissed about that. I feel like the pit is just the location they would choose, honestly. If you're going to have one location from MK, because it's been in so many games, it's the iconic location. Although Goro's lair may have been in just as many games. But I feel like the pit just has that somewhat distinct feel. It would probably be like you have the pit, but there are gaps at either side to knock the opponent down or something, so you can knock them off the edge. Or maybe it has the pit bottom as well. It's not completely filled with spikes, it's just certain areas have spikes and you can throw the opponent onto them. I don't know. Any Black Dragon facility, it doesn't matter. Some NetherRealm facility, not just the NetherRealm itself, but some base of the Brotherhood, or the place where you fight him in MK3. Kronika's Hourglass, that's not going to happen. The Courtyard, ooh, there's one you could have. Yeah, I was thinking, you know, Goro's lair, and it's funny when you think about the most iconic locations from MK, and mostly in the first game. But yeah, the Courtyard would be a good choice. The Warrior Shrine as well. Imagine if there was a game where the warrior shrine statues came to life and attacked you. I don't just mean like in Shaolin Monks where you go there and the Scorpion Sub-Zero statue, which is bullshit that they had to share a statue. Like the ninja statue breaks open and there's Ermac, haha, it was me all along. The statues themselves being brought to life to attack. That could have been an interesting challenge for the Challenge Tower in MK 2011, but they didn't have the warrior shrine in that game. Honestly, it probably would have been cooler for classic stages that they bring back that aren't part of the story, you know, like the pit in MKX or, well, I guess the Soul Chamber is probably going to be in the story in MK11. If those were instead stages that weren't in 2011, so that they would actually get a shot of being shown in full glorious HD in the modern era. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think would be the MK stage. Would it be the pit? Would it be Goro's lair? Would it be the courtyard? Or would it be Khan's arena with Khan in the background saying fight? Oh, just imagine if playing on the MK arena would actually have the MK announcer, or alternatively Shao Kahn or Shang Tsung depending on what location it is. That character is there being the announcer for Smash. You know all the Smash things like game. See, that could be really cool. I love cool gimmicks like that, like in the Memento stage that came with Joker, where the music played determines the colour scheme. So if you've got P4 music, it's P4's colour scheme instead of P5's. That shit was awesome. Oh, and then what MK tracks would we get? Oh, I mean, the courtyard, obviously, we're going to have the courtyard, Khan's arena, probably some character selection music, and hopefully we'd get some from the 3D era. I mean, imagine fighting to the fucking Deadly Alliance character selection music or Deception. That would be really cool. I also would really want the Lower Minds music from Deception to be in there. If you don't remember that one, it's also used in the Deception intro when Raiden's fighting the two sorcerers. It's that music, and it's really fucking good. And then I would say also the Tournament Round 1 music from MK11, just because it's another arrangement of Techno Syndrome, and it's the most likely way we're going to get that track in the game. I mean, even people who don't know Mortal Kombat would be disappointed if Techno Syndrome did not make it into Smash Bros. Alongside an MK character. Come on, you know this to be true. And that is finally that. We've discussed the characters and the spirits and the music. Oh, and then also I keep thinking, I'm done. Nope, there's more. One other thing they could include that I think would be cool would be if they had an assist trophy. I know the DLC characters don't get those, but imagine if they did. It could be Smash 6 and in the base game. Well, it would be Scorpion as the assist trophy, unless Scorpion is playable, in which case it'd be Sub-Zero. Probably didn't need to specify that, but yeah. Oh, what if it was Chameleon? It's Chameleon, and then he takes on the abilities of one of the ninjas at random, and that's the attack he uses. Yeah! See, Chameleon has a lot of utility for crossover material, because he can represent so many characters. Yeah, let's go with that. So what do you guys think of these ideas for spirit battles and such? Do you have your own ideas? I'm sure people come up with more, like Mega Man as Cyrax. Let me know in the comments below. See ya.